Lord. We ask that you watch over us and guide us, Lord. We ask that you put the pieces of this puzzle together, God, so that we can help more children. God, we just thank you for this committee. We thank you for everything they stand for. Lord, we ask that you just continue to do your mighty work. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. Oh, okay, so Jeannie, is going to be here on phone. And so has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from our last meeting? It should be attached to this. Matter of fact, did y'all get a chance? Okay, do we have,
I make a motion, we accept the minutes.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes are accepted. Okay, and I want to welcome Camille Pino, yay, for the Board of Supervisors appointing her on, or approving her on September 8th. So welcome, and we're glad to have you, so thank you very much. Okay, so what we'd like to do now is to vote on a co-chair. Who would like to be co-chair? Who?
I may have to say that somebody needs to be co-chair because it is in the bylaws.
Right, right.
So somebody has to step up.
What's your position?
I'm the co-chair.
You're the chair.
I'm the chair. I need a co-chair.
Okay.
Well, Jeannie, you've been suggested.
No, then who
She's
wants
the
to
second.
do my job?
You're the secretary, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
What about you?
I can't. I got a whole new department I'm starting.
We got two very busy people.
You do it, we'll help you.
Mag, I'm thinking, you know, you do a great job. You spearheaded the legislative meeting,
I
so.
accept it, I need help.
Okay, well, we'll help each other.
Okay. That's good.
Okay, so, all in favor of Mag? She's been nominated to be the co-chair.
I.
Okay, so thank you, Mag, for volunteering your time and expertise. All right, so let's move on to the discussion of the legislative meeting. And it looks like several things were discussed at that meeting. And unfortunately, I was not there. So Mag, you were there.
Mag was there. Mag, what'd you think about the whole thing?
I thought they were very receptive, and I think they were interested,
Yeah.
and they understood something has to be done. I think they were more thinking about, I know Carol's mind's rolling, and she was more thinking, what do we need to do? How can we fix this? And so we had a good talk afterwards, but I think it's a start. And
I think it was very productive. Richard Bennett was there.
They're very open to
Carolyn
it.
Crawford was there, and Timmy Ladner was there. And it was
Nice.
interesting to see who picked up on what was important. For example, Carolyn Crawford's daughter works in the school system in Waveland. And so she thought it was a great idea that a reporter, such as a school teacher or a doctor, would get to find out what happened.
Sure, right.
And so it was interesting to see who picked up on what.
Oh, yeah, yeah. How were they about the baby DJ law?
I thought they were receptive to everything. And so the way we left it was that we were gonna get together and draft it, send it to them, then they would get with their lawyers that draft the legislation.
Mhm.
And I think Richard Bennett even said that we could invite their chief lawyer to one of the meetings.
yeah,
Wonderful.
Okay,
So I think we need to invite her. It was Gwen something.
Gwen Taylor, I think.
so Judge, if I'm not mistaken, the deadline would be in January,
Yeah, but it
correct?
really needs to be
So
done
we need
now.
to set something up now,
Yeah.
right?
Because it'll have to go back and forth between the lawyers and whatnot. months.
Right,
so-
Right,
it needs
right.
to be done now. I think, is Jeannie on the phone?
It's
Jeannie?
Gwen Tatum, that's.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what did we say? I thought we said that we were gonna start like within the next week and draft this.
Yes, yes, and we would get it to them, sooner than later. And I think Richard said the same thing, that they need it as soon as possible. And, when I get back, you and I and Pastor Carnes can work on it. He said that he's willing to help.
I thought it was great. I thought the legislators were very engaged in it. We had lots of friends of court there that had great comments.
Oh, wonderful.
The doctors or the medical people being a part of the safety plan was a no-brainer.
Mhm, mhm.
Anything, Lauren?
And the My Kids Access for y'all.
And the
Everybody
night.
was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
on board with all that.
So how, that went well, that's,
Mhm.
oh, okay, well, that's kind of a no-brainer too, really.
There was some folks there from Jackson that, I really didn't,
The youth court program director, from Supreme Court was there.
Oh,
the ALC.
nice. The AOC?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And,
Okay.
I think to talk to her afterwards, I think some of this stuff, she really wasn't even aware of everything.
Yeah.
So, I think she's gonna be serious. She had told you to send something, I think she's really seriously, cause I think now she, realizes that this needs to be done.
Yeah.
I think
Well, I think her misunderstanding initially was that they're already doing a lot, and I think she thought that would be good.
Yeah.
And what I told her afterwards was, that's great, and we do have to work on a long-term plan statewide, but also, we are worried about it today, here, and how can we change it in the spring for now versus waiting for 4 years for these programs to,
and I agree with
Already in
Lauren.
place.
She was looking at this on a grand scale where we are down in the trenches trying to get something done.
and I did talk to her after about it, and she said, that makes sense. She said, I think we're doing the same thing. I said, I think we want the same thing globally, but we also we have a different agenda for locally.
Our
And
agenda was different from hers, I felt like, because they were talking about how we could support a youth court in every county. Well, that's just not gonna happen in my lifetime. I mean, that's
I mean,
lots of money.
Lots of money, and it's got to do with population too, I think,
Yeah,
and there's
But
a
they
lot
were
of
saying
areas.
regardless of population,
Oh.
every county
Every
needs
A youth court,
dedicated judge.
a dedicated.
okay,
So, I mean, that's not
Took
on
a
my,
long time
that's
for
not on
Impact
my
County.
agenda, because
Right.
that's, I mean, I think it would be wonderful, but it's just not gonna happen.
Well, like we told her, she's talking such a big
That's a
picture and a
long-term.
long-term thing, then you have to get it all funded.
Mhm.
And that's just huge, and if you don't have the support for all these programs that they're talking about, you can't refer moms to mental health and addiction and all the things, then those programs they're talking about aren't gonna matter. So you still have to figure out a way to handle the things that we're trying to handle with our asks, so.
Sure.
Yeah, I think globally the same thing, but just different priorities and ways of getting there.
Right, okay.
My big frustration from the meeting that I was really frustrated about was the Olivia versus Why. They're spending millions of dollars in fines every year. And then they said, well, we're gonna do this, and it's been 22, 23 years, we're gonna do something? Come on, 23 years and you haven't done it? And the money that we're spending on these fines,
And attorneys.
And
Fund
attorneys-
Every program.
exactly, I mean, it could probably fix half of the problem that we have right now, that money. And so that really was frustrating. Nobody can seem to say exactly what has to be done in order to be compliant with Olivia versus Why. So the one lady, and I don't remember who she was, said that they're gonna try to get an attorney for every foster child, is that what she said?
Well, that's a judge for every foster child. No, a judge for every child. That's the thing I was talking about. Every county would have a dedicated county court.
And I said, if you get a judge for every child, would you be compliant with the lawsuit? Not even.
No.
So, come on, 23 years?
No, there are certain, if I remember correctly, there's some very specific things that are supposed to be happening on a timeline for any child that's brought into custody. And I don't think that that's ever been really complied with, that I'm aware of.
And the thing that
It's gotta
I'm
start
not
from
to
the
say
head
aggravated
and the
me,
agency.
but we got the speech from the people from Jackson about bringing in national experts.
We've already done that.
We have done that every year forever. We don't have the funding. I mean, what's the purpose of bringing in a national expert to tell us what we need to do when we're not gonna have the funding to do it?
Exactly.
I thought she was talking about looking at that, I mean, like I think it's Ann Casey Foundation.
Annie Casey.
Annie Casey.
Annie
They,
Casey.
they have all of that peer reviewed material, and I thought she was talking about getting grants so that they could, you know, look at peer, programs, et cetera, and, you know, try to move in that direction and do that with grant funding, which is, you know, great if they're gonna do it, but, you know.
So
We're
who's
still not
fixing
talking
this
about a
problem?
fast fix for Olivia Y though. I mean, they're still
Yeah.
not.
Oh, it's not gonna be a fast fix, but I think they should be further 20 years down the road than they are. But I think that's gotta start at the head, and I just don't think.
But our focus was just very different from theirs. We are trying to get something done now, and they're looking at, I mean, was that your impression?
Yes.
Right.
But I don't think that they're going, I mean, I didn't get the impression that they were going to, you know, try to stop or be a barrier to us trying to get done what we're trying to get done locally. You know, these quick fixes that will help in the interim.
Well, these are things that I think could help on the front end.
Yeah.
What they're talking about are things on the
I think they're,
back end. That's after,
they're saying.
I'm
one-
assuming after kids have already been taken into custody, these are the services that.
Well, I mean, they are not talking about taking kids into custody. I mean, they are, my impression was that they support the fact that we're down to 240, or whatever we are in Harrison County.
Yeah, well, there's,
They thought that was a good thing.
okay, and I would agree with that. I think possibly getting, Annie Casey Foundation does keep statistics. But, you know, that's only as good as what gets reported to them.
But I think for the purposes of y'all, that the next step needs to be, Mag, you make sure Richard Bennett has told the attorney that we're gonna be calling her, so that we can call her and have a Zoom conference with her next time on the 19th with their lawyer.
On the 19th of
Of
October,
Isn't that when y'all are meeting again?
our next, the
Your next-
blue ribbon,
Yeah.
okay.
In other words.
Yeah, that should be
I don't
right.
wanna wait until the session
No,
starts.
no, I
when
think-
there's long.
That's why I was kind of doing, I think
17th.
January is our,
Is October 17th?
Well, Judge, I'm thinking that we need to we need to get something
Yeah.
to Richard Bennett within the next couple of weeks.
Well, I say in the next 10 days, and so.
Right,
and
right.
so
Well, I'm
that's-
not gonna be back until Monday, but yeah, I
Okay.
think we need to get something ASAP to them. Our
Yeah,
next meeting is the 17th, and, I'm gonna get the name of the, attorney. I'll contact Richard Bennett to get the name of the attorney.
well, we.
Her
we
name
need to
is
make
Wynn
sure-
Tatum.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah, good.
Jamie
But what we
Jerry.
need to do, she ain't gonna talk to us until Richard Bennett gets her.
Right, right,
okey-dokey.
Right, no,
right. So Mac, you're gonna reach out to him and make sure
And
that,
reach out to Richard, say we wanna get with Gwen, and, you know, can you tell her we're gonna be calling her to set up a Zoom on the 17th
and we're gonna do that within the next
now?
week now, okay, all right.
yeah, we need to get it done.
This coming
ASAP.
week, I guess.
And the legislators that were there were very interested in coming to the Blue Ribbon. Didn't you invite some of them? Jeannie, didn't Jay McKnight say?
Yeah, we heard from Senator Bryce Wiggins, and I received another, email, and I'm gonna get together with, his assistant to pick a date. And also Jay McKnight, and also I received the email yesterday from Jim Estrada.
Oh,
He's very
great.
interested. He's very interested, so I told all three of them that when I got back that we would, definitely set up a time.
Well, why don't we invite them to Blue Ribbon?
And I have,
Okay.
Mr. Bryce Wiggins, Jay McKnight, I think is gonna come to the October one, but I wanna verify that with him. And I'm gonna get together with, Jim Estrada and tell him about the blue ribbon and, that, you know, when we meet. So I'll work it out with all three of them.
Why don't you ask them to say a few words at the Blue Ribbon so we can make sure that they come?
Yeah, I think they're come because they, all three of them reached out and were very interested in the letter that you sent to them, Judge Alfonso.
And Timmy Ladner, at the meeting this week said he wanted to come too, so I'll reach out
Right,
to him.
yeah, I'll reach out to all, you know, I guess 6 of them now, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we'll do that within the next week or so, and then maybe at the next Blue Ribbon meeting in October, by that time, we ought to have some sort of idea on a meeting with the attorney.
Well, I'm hoping we can, that we'll be on Zoom with her on the 17th, that's what I'm hoping is to have a Zoom.
Okay, okay.
Because then we're into the holidays and then the session starts.
Right. So that we're on Zoom with her at the next
That's what I hope.
Blue Ribbon meeting. Okay.
All right, I just sent him a text. Would you please let Gwen Tatum, the attorney, know that we would like to have a Zoom meeting October 17th. A meeting October 17th via Zoom at 1 o'clock.
With her.
Okay, well, that sounds like a lot of progression here, a lot of
I
good,
thought
I
so.
mean, this is better than we've had in a while.
But, and the things that they were just hit upon to me and talking to them privately was first, our medical folks not being part of, they were like, very hidden. And then a reporter, and then the My Kids thing, so, those things really hit home to them.
Right, okay.
They had no idea, yeah.
Yeah, they had no idea, they couldn't believe it.
I don't think if people that don't intersect with this, I don't think they really do oftentimes have an idea. You know, it's not until you,
Yeah, I thought somebody on the committee was gonna reach out to Andrea Sanders.
I did,
And to have somebody come to have a.
I did, and I have not received a reply.
What did you ask her?
I invited, what I asked her was, we were inviting someone from their office, a representative, to come, that before they had participated and then kind of stopped for some reason, and that it would be very beneficial for us to be able to talk about possible barriers to providing some of these services and how we could be
Work together.
more helpful.
Cause we can't collaborate if we don't have anybody to collaborate with.
Right, which, I basically extended the invitation, but I did not even receive. So, we can send out another one, maybe
Could we,
I can certainly do that again.
send it out, like, just a follow-up to her, but maybe include, like, Gwendolyn and Mona, who are some of the supervisors we've worked with at the Memorial more lately, and maybe Robert, and just include, because they were who came initially.
Right. Yeah, we can do
So
that.
maybe as a follow-up to her, just saying including them, because these were some that attended in the past,
Right,
and maybe that would light more of a fire. She has a direct person to say, yeah, you go.
right.
I don't know the reason for the no response. but
Aren't y'all meeting with them weekly at the hospital?
Sometimes. Sometimes it's canceled if we have no open cases.
Do you send like an agenda to them and so that they come prepared, or you just, that's a set meeting? And
Yeah, it's every Tuesday, so it's more just if we have open cases that we meet.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll cancel.
Last month was a bit slow, right now it's
A lot.
very fast, so yeah, meetings will be happening again.
Okay.
And Jeannie, I
So-
also got this message that says Jansen Owen is very interested in this. He represents Pearl River, but he is a really good lawyer.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. So who's that from, Richard?
Richard,
Okay, good.
he would be really good. So could we get an invite him to the meetings?
Absolutely.
Who is that now?
Jansen Owen,
Jansen Owen.
he's like from the Picayune Pearl River area.
I thought he was coming to the meeting the other day, but he couldn't make it. for some reason.
Okay, Jansen Owens, and I'll get, Mad, would you send me do you have his email?
I do not, but I bet you could get it offline.
I can get it to you, Jeannie, because he's in our. legal
Okay, great,
directory.
that would be great.
Yeah. I want to just say this, I think that, I want to just say that the Blue Ribbon Committee, I'm hearing more about just the fact of the committee in the public, which I love.
That's a good
So,
thing.
are y'all, I mean, I was just in a meeting on an entirely different subject, and somebody brought up Blue Ribbon. I said, well, come on downstairs, it's meeting.
Perfect, yeah, so maybe
It gives me
inviting,
chills really to think about it, because the word and the mission of the
right,
committee is getting out,
right,
which I
right.
love.
Well, and I thought it was very helpful getting the coverage that was there at the meeting before. I think that oftentimes is very helpful. I can, what I'll do is I will send another email. I think that's a great idea to send one to Wendelin, just CC Wendelin and
Robert.
Robert.
and Mona
He
Holloway.
was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But, I mean, you know, but Robert really doesn't have the authority to do anything except
Right.
to listen to us, you know?
And, well, even just to help clarify what their policies are, so I thought it was still useful, like, even if he can't make changes, that's okay. If he can let us know what the issues are, what the barriers are on their side, that's useful information for us too.
I don't know why they're not coming. Why don't y'all get on the 4 o'clock show, 2 of y'all, and talk about the committee and invite the public to come? I'm amazed at the 4
That's a
o'clock
good
show
idea.
that reaches tons of people.
That's a real good idea.
Jeannie?
Jeannie
Good at
and
that. And you?
maybe you.
Y'all are our
Laura,
official
Jeannie.
spokespeople.
You do such a
Well,
fabulous
you know
job.
what? Why don't we do it on a Friday, Beth, and you and Mad, the chair and the co-chair can go?
You know, I really think.
I don't mind doing that
Don't-
one, but
don't
just,
make me-
we'll plan it for a week that I'm off, so that I know
We can
for
do
sure
that.
that I can go.
I really think youth and beauty in this situation is,
You know,
Which
Beth, I'm older than you.
Well, 2
So
of
who are
y'all
we gonna
go.
get, who are we
We'll
gonna
get-
get, Dr. Caldwell and Lauren?
I think those 2 would be fabulous.
I think they'd be fabulous too. And they speak, yes.
Who
So,
are we saying?
Dr. Caldwell and Lauren.
right.
And
I'll
Lauren.
reach out
Are
to
you
the board.
guys on board with that if we do the 4 o'clock show?
Oh, yeah, they're jumping up and down over here.
Okay, but I don't mind calling them and getting y'all lined up, but I don't know when y'all are.
Just depends on what it is,
Caldwell's
because
gonna
I
be
be on
off.
vacation.
Well, that's what Dr. Caldwell was saying, was that if, as long as it can be scheduled on a day.
Can you just give me those,
Yes, I can give you
we
my
can do
schedule.
that later, and I'll, okay.
So, yeah.
So,
So
okay.
as of, as of Monday, I'm off for 2 weeks.
Okay,
So-
Okay, good. How about you, Lauren?
Lauren, did you go at 4, I mean, you have to be there at like 3:30 or something.
Yeah, I'm sure I can make it work. There's just a couple of
Okay.
days in these next 2 weeks
Okay,
that I can't.
I'll contact, Valerie, who is the PIO, and get it lined up in the next,
2 weeks.
hopefully in the next week.
Okay, that's great, that's great, because I do agree that if it is on that 4 o'clock show, and we can make sure that the public understands that they are invited,
That's what the purpose of it is just to tell about the committee and our mission, and the public is invited.
right,
So why don't we
Right.
go ahead and expand and get on the 12 o'clock show at XXV?
Very
Yeah,
good.
we can do
Hit
both,
both-
yeah.
We hit both audiences.
okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Jeannie,
got
are you
it.
good with that?
Okay, so 12 o'clock at WXXV and the 4 o'clock show, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
And it will be Dr. Caldwell and Lauren.
yes,
Okay, got it.
okay, perfect. Okay, so, we've already sent the invitation for Senator Wiggins and Jay McKnight, right? Correct? Yes, Okay,
Yes.
okay, so the vulnerable adults.
Yeah, we talked about it, we talked a little bit about it at one of our last meetings, and I think there was a, consensus that we were gonna look into it more. They were having the same problems. I know I called numerous times to make reports on, vulnerable adults. So I think this was a concern of Kathy from Memorial. Is she there today?
Cindy, you mean, Cindy?
Cindy?
I mean, Cindy, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Cindy, are
Cindy
you
is
there?
not
No, she is not here today.
Okay. Well, maybe, Lauren, maybe we can have her come at the next meeting and kind of, state what's going on with that through Memorial.
Are y'all doing anything at Memorial that y'all know of with vulnerable adult unit?
We only do children, so I
Yeah,
have no
that's
idea.
out above my weight limit, so.
Yeah.
I know
So,
that Cindy is taking over Merit and,
So
all
Melissa
that
is
change,
here,
so
I
she's
just don't know if you
swamped, I'm
are
sure.
right, feel prepared to talk about it or feel like you can say much about it.
Talking about like the APS
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
part. I mean, anytime that there's an issue, our social workers will file an APS report. There's a whole lot I could say about how that process works. It's about as good as
It doesn't.
CPS.
Or worse.
Worse than CPS, actually. We've gained a lot more traction with them in the past year, but, I mean, we file the reports. They sometimes come, they sometimes don't come. We have to call, but it's, it could use some work.
Yeah, because I do believe that's a population that's underserved.
Absolutely.
And I think that there's oftentimes too, some real confusion surrounding that as well. Because sometimes people take the position that, well, they can decide what they want to do, they can choose how they live and the care that they receive.
Right, and
I think there's a difference between that and really them being at risk,
Right, there's
and
a
oftentimes for
definite
exploitation.
fine line between choosing to live the way that you live, if you're competent to make that choice and that's your preference, and, not being able to control that environment or that care. And
Right,
I spent a long time in home health, and so I have seen that. This is my wheelhouse. The elderly
Oh.
population is my wheelhouse.
nice.
And, seeing what you go into, trying to request support, putting social workers on board and looking from an outpatient standpoint. It's very frustrating, but you do have to give them that autonomy, if they are competent to live.
Sure. But I do think also that maybe I know that for some of the in-home care, there is no licensing necessarily that some folks go to.
That is correct.
And so that to me is something that bears looking at. And, why is there no licensing of these?
So you're talking about like
Personal care homes.
Personal
Beth,
care
I don't
homes.
know if you remember this, years ago when we got involved, it was a great idea, let's license these personal care homes. At that time, years ago, the personal care homes in Mississippi had the #1 lobby group in the state. That's how much money these personal care homes were making. We got hit with a tsunami, we thought it was a good idea, and it went nowhere.
Yeah, so they can have 3 or less residents and not be licensed.
I thought it was even
Right.
more than that, is it down?
I thought it
to
was
3?
5.
I've always been told 3. I've
I
never
think it's
seen
more than
much
that. I'm not sure what it is. It's
thought
I
it
know
was
I
like
recently
5 too.
dealt with, a few clients that were in a personal care home that was not licensed. The police has been out there, they know they're doing drugs, they know they was raping the senior, they knew all this. And the senior, when they questioned her in front of the perpetrator, whatever you call it, she was scared, she just said, no, it's fine here, everything's fine, and so they walked out the door and left.
Sure. 'cause-
When you deal with adults and kids, it's so much more complicated
Mhm.
because kids, you just pick the child up and put the child in custody. with adults, you have pets,
Mhm.
you have real estate, you have stuff. I
Right.
mean, it's much more complicated.
Right, well, there's exploitation that happens. And oftentimes they're not gonna say anything because they're
They
too
don't
afraid
have
of what the
information.
alternative might be.
I don't
You
know
know.
how y'all get involved with that issue. I would love for you to.
I don't know either, I mean, that's why I thought of and I knew we had talked about this licensing. I know that this has been a big issue because it's even with the the chronically mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an incredibly vulnerable population that go into these personal care homes and,
And remember, we have veterans all over in these.
veterans.
Veteran care homes.
Right. And I don't think there's even, maybe if we could look at possibly, could there be at least some criteria you would have to meet in order to, I know trying to get around the licensing thing, but to call yourself, to advertise as a in-home care person? It seems to me you would have to have something.
How do
I don't-
people, do the hospitals place anybody? Do y'all
Yes.
have like a list?
Yes, I called the hospital because they placed these people in this home that all this was happening to. And when they have a senior who is ready to be discharged, but has nowhere to go, they're the ones who recommended this home.
Well, they're
Not
probably
checking
going
the
off of a list going,
Exactly.
well, this is our options that we have, and
Yes.
they're probably operating too under the assumption that, well, this is a list, so this is what we've been given, so
I
they
can
must have
explain how
been
that
vetted.
process works.
How
Yeah.
does it work?
So what it is the lists that we have are literally just lists of compiled resources that we have gained over time. If they say they're licensed, say this one's licensed, this one, if they're not licensed, there's just not anything there. Whatever kind of information they wanna give us, and then we hand it to them, like, we're not affiliated with them at all, we don't recommend any of these. You need to call and you need to interview them yourself.
Right, it's up to the senior.
So we don't place them in that, but when it comes down to it, there are some places that are less expensive. Therefore, I'm betting
Exactly.
that this was that kind of situation, that we know these are open to taking people, but we don't get the feedback. So if
You don't know.
somebody chooses to go somewhere and then a situation like that happens, we have no way to know unless we're notified, or that patient ends up back in our care and something happens. There's a huge, I'm sorry.
No, go, that we can invite somebody from the Attorney General's office to come and talk, give a few minutes to the, committee.
Do we know who is, the supervisor, or who is over the APS?
Here?
Yeah, and,
Kim Wary.
oh, okay. Maybe we could invite her to come and meet to specifically address, would it be something that's helpful to them? Do they think that we need to maybe explore, a better vetting system, if we don't wanna call it licensing?
Do y'all have the list at the hospital? I'm just curious, can you bring them the list so we can look at it?
Oh, that'd be great. Because, I remember some from when I was working at the mental health center, and, we knew those to be not great spots.
I think to start out with one of the investigators from the AG's office, I can reach out to them and see if they can come talk to Blue.
That would be helpful.
They're the ones that are looking into exploitation.
Okay.
Since I have so much dealing.
Because I
going
think
on
that would overlap too with the exploitation. I think there would be some overlapping in that, because kind of what we're wanting to look at is how do you better protect the elderly, because currently, right now, it doesn't sound like they're really being protected.
We were able to get those seniors out of the home, but we had to get the police involved. And now she's got people back in there again.
Well, see, that's,
Where, are you comfortable saying with where that is located? Do you know the
Gulfport.
strip in Gulfport? Okay. There was one in Long Beach that,
Okay.
So let me see if I have this correctly. Judge Alfonso said that, invite one of the investigators from the AG's office.
yes,
Yes,
And then after that, invite the head of, APS, which is Kimberly. Was that
Yes.
mentioned, or did I hear wrong?
yeah, no, that's, invite her to the meeting as well.
Right, along with the AG's office, okay.
Do we wanna do both or meet with one
well, if
first?
we're
and-
gonna have I'm hoping that Zoom is with Gwen that day.
Right, okay, so this might be something that we, can explore and maybe put it as,
I'll reach out and see if they're willing to come and let y'all know next time.
okay, because that
Okay,
doesn't,
great.
and that doesn't have to be at the 19th.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's.
I think it's the 17th, isn't it? Or-
I'm sorry, the 17th, I keep saying the
I do
19th,
too.
today's the 19th.
And in the meantime, y'all are gonna be on the 4 o'clock show and the noon show. Let us know when you're gonna be on so we can watch.
Yeah, I'll let
Okay.
everybody know.
Okay. All right, so moving to the letter submission from June, Jonathan W.
Right,
Marsh.
yes, well, I received 2 letters, one from Johnson Marshall, and also, I think we should invite Reverend Stephen M. Bearden to a Zoom participation in the Blue Ribbon, because I don't know if you had a chance to read his letter, but he had a lot of good points in his letter. I think he's from out east someplace, isn't that right, Judge Alfonso?
Yeah, I don't have the letter in front of me,
Oh,
but I
that's
thought he
the-
wrote a really good letter.
Jeannie, was that, the letters?
Yeah, it's included in your,
Here we go, okay.
yeah, George
Okay, this is,
Andrup, sent it to me. And
okay,
so it's the, yeah, it says Dear Harrison County Leadership and Child Protection Committee.
yes,
So he made some very valid points, and I think it would be very, good, I think it would be, polite for us to have him participate through Zoom. I can reach out to him if you all agree.
yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then, I've had the Jonathan Marshall, he sent me something several, months ago, and I don't know if it meets our mission or not. And it's so complex, and I don't know. So, I'm here to submit this to the committee to get your feedback on this, and
Is this all the screenshots? Is this part?
yeah, it starts off with,
Got it.
Jeannie, is that the guy that was just complaining about the way his case was handled? Is it-
yeah,
Okay, well, I didn't think the committee was, into one.
That's not, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think we're allowed
I think
to,
that's what we had decided last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
to
that's.
send it to CPS, because there's nothing.
okay, I
we can
can't
do.
understand, what did you guys say?
I think that when we discussed this before, that, kind of what we had said was that this is really more, individual specific, it's just one case
Case.
specific. And so that might not be something that we necessarily address in this type of forum.
right, that when we had, formed under the Board of Supervisors, that we had specifically said that we weren't going to be investigating individual cases.
Right.
It wasn't about that.
Right.
And that's what he wants, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
he's
I
got
can
it pretty.
sympathize with them, but unfortunately,
Yes.
it's not within our power.
Right, I agree.
Right. So, Jeannie, this is what you received, correct?
Yes.
Did you want to respond to him by saying that?
Yes, I think what I'll do is I'll come up with some kind of response and send it to you all for approval.
Okay, yeah, I'm just thinking to say that while we realize that this has been a very traumatic experience for him, unfortunately, we're not able to
We're not
necessarily.
mandated for that, yeah.
Yeah, that would be going outside of our scope.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
okay. So, what is do we have a update from Memorial Hospital?
I have,
Ah, yeah, okay.
I'm Cindy today. In August, we had 20 CPS cases. So to put it into perspective, we had 9 in July, which was very, very low. And then we had 20 in August.
Wow.
September seems to be kind
Already
of
shaping
hopping.
up.
Is that because
It
it's,
might be even higher.
it's because school started, you think, or what?
Census picked up.
Yeah, the,
So census picked up, we're delivering more babies. We've steadily increased over the last 4 months of delivery numbers. So, and we're predicted to cross 200 this month, which is more than we've done ever. So,
Deliveries, you mean?
so just with both our NICU census and delivery numbers picking up, I think it's just gonna keep climbing. Now that Biloxi's closed as of last week.
Oh, that's
Are
right.
y'all
That's
being a part of the safety plans yet?
Did we get that one the other day, or did they nix that? Because I know we hadn't gotten it, but then I think I heard that they would not end up doing
Did
that.
not, because it ended up going in a different direction. So they were going to send us the safety plan, in a Tuesday meeting that we had with CPS. There were some additional questions asked that we kind of dug in a little bit. And, so the safety plan was going to be given to us that afternoon. Well, some of the pieces of the safety plan were not met. And the next day, again, they were not met on the parents' end. And the person that was gonna be in control of the safety plan, I don't know if she didn't pass the drug screen, if she didn't show up for it, whatever happened, I don't know. But the next thing that happened is CPS took custody, so we never officially got
there wasn't a safety plan. to
that
add.
safety plan.
I mean, there was at one point, we never had it, but it was also because they were waiting on the last piece of
That
it,
last
so.
piece. Mm-hmm.
So they wound up taking the child
They
into
Took
custody.
custody instead, so I think that was a win.
Yeah,
Oh, I would too.
absolutely.
It ended as a win, yes.
So the conversation has started, and before y'all, it hadn't started on that.
Yeah, it was I guess it's not a win that the child was taken, that's not what I meant. It was a win that they had everything in place they were going to show us, and then when it went in a different direction, it was out of the best safety for the child. So I think the situation was handled as a win.
So it's a win for coordination of,
Yeah, it was all coordinated. with the
continuation of care.
Yeah.
And see, that is a,
That's what we
such a
want.
That's what we're
positive
looking
for the committee. I mean, because that wouldn't have happened without y'all, I don't think.
No,
Right, no, I think that's definitely a win.
Well, and I think we are able to dig into it more now that we have seen one and seen what they're doing and we know the questions to ask and dig into. I also think that is part of the win, is that we are asking the right questions versus just, you have a safety plan, okay, you have a safety plan, does it address A, B, and C, which are our concerns, which we never dug that deep into it before because we never knew that it wasn't.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we've learned some things to ask and to push for answers on, and then we're also being included at the end, so.
So Melissa, you said in August, there was 20 children involved in CPS cases. Is that all infants?
Those are reports made by.
Those
I
are
mean, reports, I mean.
Yeah, so not all
That's
infants.
not
Were
so
they
just-
all infants? No?
No.
and I don't have a breakdown on how
Okay.
many were infants and how many
No,
weren't,
this was
but
But yeah, it's coming through the ER, the pediatric floor, labor and delivery,
it's a good
NICU.
mix.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's all of it.
Yeah.
That's still pretty high, 20.
9 to 20.
Well, to kind of give you an idea of like, just January moving forward, it was 20, 16, 16, 13, 11, 18, 9, and then 20. Puts us at 123 for the year.
Are y'all having a more prompt response from CPS when you call?
I mean, let's just put it this way, we are still getting to discharge of
That point?
well
Waiting
babies
for-
and don't have a disposition. So, there is definitely room for an improvement. Not to say they're dragging it out days and days, but when you only have 48 to 72 hours, you got to move and you got to tell me what we're gonna do with this baby when it goes home. So, there's room to improve there.
But if we need somebody after hours, we're getting it.
Oh, perfect. Well, that wasn't happening,
Huge.
right?
Huge step
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah, so that's a big plus, that y'all have a direct line, so that's a,
Right.
that's
And
a.
we-
Lauren,
with
what
them
was
too.
the stats for last year's October? Is that pretty consistent with last year's?
September?
This would be August. So
Yeah.
last year was 25, year before was 25.
Yeah, so about the same.
Not too far off.
And part of August was still slow,
Yeah.
in the NICU specifically. So I do think it's directly correlated to the census of everywhere also.
Well, I was gonna say, especially now since the other hospital is that more gonna be coming to
Yeah.
you guys, so that number will probably,
Should rise.
I would think, go up
Mhm.
there as well.
Okay.
For the nursery side, yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
right, right. Okay, all right, so, are there any new concerns or anything from those that have come?
Well, it's not a new concern, but we really need to do something on getting Rescue 100 back up and running. I don't know if y'all know, Rescue 100 was the workshop, more or less, that licensed good foster homes really quickly.
Uh-huh,
And one of the problems I'm convinced of why they're not placing more kids in placement is they don't have the foster homes.
That's correct. There's a reason they don't have foster homes.
But we need to get Rescue 100 back up and running.
And, Judge Alfonso, I have talked to Pastor Carnes in that, with that same, concern. And I don't think it would take much for that to happen.
He would make it happen.
I think he would be on.
Yeah, he would, yeah. So I think that, as soon as he gets the go, I think he said it's gonna be very quick.
Well, who do we get the go from? Andrea Sanders?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Okay, so has Pastor Carnes spoken to anybody at CPS, do we know? Has he been in contact with?
I think Jeannie, correct me if I'm wrong, that Andrea Sanders took the position that there was a conflict with church and state.
Right, and that's
Yes.
why, when Rescue 100 was just at the height of their fostering, somehow the state took the whole Rescue 100 over, and within a year, it just kind of folded. So I think it was a big question between church and state, you're right. But in talking with Pastor Carnes, over the last year, I don't think it would take, I know it would not take much for, Rescue 100 to get up and running, because everything is still in place, still intact. They still have the board, and they still have their 501c3.
Okay, does anybody know who's in charge of licensure at CPS? That's who we need to contact.
Okay, that would take some looking
I
into.
think it's
But who?
Mary Payne.
I'll find out.
Mag, do you know?
what-
Mary Payne is the one that's in charge of my licensing.
But who's in?
Is she in charge?
I will email Robert and ask Robert who's
Okay,
in
that
charge
would-
of licensure.
Okay, Judge Robert. Okay, sounds good.
Robert was
Because
also supposed to, by today, and he hasn't done it, so I hope he's listening, is, when they do powers of attorney, POAs, y'all know.
Right.
They're given powers of attorney from one person to another. They are not doing NCIC checks on those people.
Mm.
They are doing local records checks, which are historically unreliable. The only way to get a true background check is NCIC fingerprint.
That is
And
correct.
Robert was going to, and I said, Robert, y'all are doing local records checks, you're giving people kids and they hadn't done NCIC check, and he was gonna check on that, he wasn't sure. So he was gonna let me know by today, and he hasn't, so I'm assuming that they are not doing NCIC checks, which is scary beyond belief. Because the only thing that's gonna show arrest in other states and warrants in
Right, or
other states is
NCIC.
NCIC.
And that's probably because it cost.
And it takes time.
And it takes time.
It takes time. It can take, 2 to 3 weeks, but it also costs.
And I wish we had brought that up to the legislators. I had forgotten about that because that is just so
I
scary.
have a feeling they'll be back.
But they only look at the last 5 years anyway.
The last 5
The
years.
last 5 years is all they check.
Even,
5
are you
years.
talking about
Does it depend
licensure?
upon the type
Talking
of
about
charge?
foster care licensing,
Okay.
they only go back 5 years. Anything outside of that, they do not care about and they're not looking into it.
Okay,
So
that wasn't,
5 years is it.
And that's for all charges.
Yes, they look for they ask for your addresses for the last 5 years.
For the last 5
And
years.
after
gotcha.
that 5 year mark, they go, if you've moved from place to place, they're, so in 5 years, all your addresses across the state, they'll reach out to those people to do the local checks, but outside of that 5 years, they're not doing anything else.
So she's talking about even the local checks. they
Even the
don't-
local
Yes,
charge.
But I'm
5
talking about
years.
NCIC where it would show
Right,
up
that
the
would give you. right.
Everything, right, but
Right.
right now, it's literally 5 years, and anything outside of that, they're not looking at.
And to keep with the local records check, for example, you can show an arrest in one jurisdiction, but unless the municipality or the justice court that convicts them reports that information to the local arresting agent, it doesn't show up.
Right, right.
so when I just got finished with my check, they asked me about a ticket that I got, no, a
Was
warning.
it, did your,
A
was it,
warning in 2008, it wasn't a ticket, it was a warning. And I guess it was on my record.
was
And
it,
so
in-
they went back more than 5
was it
years.
NCIC?
Mhm.
Well, see, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
NCIC is the
Equipment.
National Crime Computer. That's based on your fingerprints.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Local
Judge
records
Alfonso,
check is just calling them up and saying,
in Harrison County, they do a federal and a state and all the states that you worked in, or lived in. And they did it back, they did it back within, 2 or 3 days most of the time.
on NCIC?
Yeah, whatever they do at Harrison County, I mean, I think we had to list the last 10 years of addresses and,
You're not fingerprinting.
They're not fingerprinting.
because they do a, sex offender checklist, I mean, they're pretty in-depth.
But
So I
that's
don't know.
different. But being on the registry, is different than what we're talking about. You're not being checked on NCIC unless you're fingerprinted.
Correct.
And so I'm saying, if you're giving a child to somebody and using a
Right.
POA from the government, they ought to do an NCIC check.
Well, especially CPS.
I would think they would.
Well, they're not.
They're the ones that are making the placement too,
That's
correct?
what I'm saying, the
Right.
government is making the placement.
So. And that must
Robert
be
was supposed to
policy.
check on that and let me know by today if they
Hey,
would do.
Mag, did you have to go through the fingerprinting through CPS to become a
Yeah,
licensed
but
foster
mine was
parent?
such a mess, but yes, I did go through the fingerprintings, I had to go pay for the
Okay.
fingerprint
But
myself.
that's for licensure, I'm talking about for POAs,
Oh, yeah.
power of attorneys.
Well, wouldn't that be just as thorough as licensure?
Well, in my mind, it should be, but it's not. Because you're giving a child, the
Right.
difference with their POAs only last a year. So they're saying, for a year, we can run the risk of having worked out.
Right. So this is something that CPS is coordinating with another family or other family members for the placement. And I think that's a matter of policy. There's not anything that says, I think with foster parents, I think they have to be
NCIC.
NCIC because I think there's.
But
something
again, I
specific
think
to
our
it.
legislators would be amazed if they knew that the government, meaning CPS, is giving kids for a year to somebody that doesn't have an NCIC check.
Right, right.
Right now, CPS is doing what they call fast track, because I had started my license July of '24. And in December, I still wasn't licensed, and they said they were gonna, even though everything was turned in, they were gonna cancel that application and do a fast track. And then I didn't need fingerprints, they just did a fast track.
So what's a fast track?
It wasn't fast, I don't know.
Slow.
So maybe the fast track is where we just do a little local background
we
check.
ask you, have you ever been convicted?
Yeah, or we just ask. You know, because people are sick of
I think they
finding
did
things.
the
Tell the truth
regular,
all
like
the
you
time.
said, just the regular background check here, see if, there was anything.
Yeah, so that's how they're not doing, so it must just be, that's in their policy.
Well, I'm gonna email Robert, because I think the public would be astounded that we are giving kids to people that haven't been fingerprinted.
Right. They might even do more for dogs that go up for adoption, you know,
They may.
Oh my God.
seriously. I mean, I think they do home visits sometimes, check and make sure you have a fenced-in yard, things like that. Okey-doke, well, are there any other questions or comments or anything? Does anybody here have anything? No? Alrighty, well, we're gonna go ahead and adjourn, and our next meeting is October 17th. And we have these, hopefully by that meeting, we'll have the WLX thing, and we'll have some word from the legislatures.
We've been, y'all are inviting me,
Right.
then Gwen, we hope to have a Zoom with her that day.
Correct.
And we have our PD people.
Right. The stars.
And I'm gonna invite the AG's office to come at some point in the.
And I'll send another email to CPS, Andrea Saunders, and also.
She just doesn't respond?
No, there's no response. Like as in, didn't get it. Which, sent it to her email address, it didn't come back, so. But anyway, I'll do it again. Maybe she's busy, she might be out on holiday.
I was gonna suggest maybe if it came from Judge Wickers.
Beth, you copied her assistant, correct?
I did not copy her assistant. It went directly to her.
I have better success.
You might want to copy,
Well,
her.
then maybe we just came up with a better solution that, maybe if Camille sends it.
And
That might get
all we're
more of a
wanting is
response.
for somebody to come to the meetings, because
All
this
we're
is
wanting
supposed to
is-
collaborate, we don't
Right,
have anybody.
right. Oh, we're wanting.
Okay.
Would you do that? Okay, perfect. All right, so Camille's gonna do that. She carries a bigger
Excellent. Thank you,
stick than I do, so we're gonna go with that.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, all right. I think we
Thank
are
you,
done and
guys.
yay, oh, I'm sorry.
Just real
What-
quick, I
what-
found the licensing thing on the personal care homes. It is, if you have 4 or more, you have to be licensed. I found the statute, it was July 1st, 2015, that went into effect. Anything
before.
more than 4 unlicensed, it's a misdemeanor. That's what it says.
Ah, Mr. Mayor.
So wait, if they have four
more.
people there,
Under 4. 4
Under-
or more, you have to be licensed, so they can have up to 30.
okay, so if they have 3, they're good, but if they have more than 4 and they don't have a license, then it's a misdemeanor violation. I wonder how often that happens, that they actually get
Enforcement.
charged. I did knew. Okay. Well, if they were willing to do licensure for 4 or
See,
more,
that, if it came into office, it came in on 2015, we were way before then.
that was way, so they might be more willing to now look at, since they did it for 4 or more, maybe really start to look at, And I think the more situations that we might have that show problems within those homes that people are living in, conditions, things such as that, if we find that out, then we have something we can say, hey, look, this is what's happening. And this is how they're getting around that, I mean, I know of one situation where they actually had a couple trailers on their property. And what they did was they had, so many living in each of those trailers.
That's how they got around it.
So that they count it as less.
So that's how they
So
were
they
being.
had
Interesting.
3 in each trailer, is that what you're saying?
Yes, and the conditions were very, very bad, very bad.
Pretty clever.
Right. All on the same property that the one person was collecting.
So if there's,
So they're not even, nobody's even living in that home with them. They just
oh, wow, making money off of
place them,
Place them like a renter.
like,
with room.
well, or like a quote-unquote group home type thing.
Yeah.
Is
So they don't have any monitoring 24/7?
No,
Not the unlicensed ones. The licensed ones
The
have.
licensed ones have to do certain things, but the unlicensed ones don't.
Yeah,
The
those are
personal
people
care
who-
home, they don't.
Oh, now, a personal care home,
A personal care home can have 3 or less without being licensed, which means they don't have to abide by any of those
Right.
rules.
right,
Right.
They fly right under the radar. And that trailer, well.
Yeah, and so that's how they were able, because they had under, 3 and under. So, yeah. Okey doke, is that,
Thank you, guys.
thank you, Jeannie.
Motion to
Have-
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, thank you for the,
I'll second.
Who was-
second, and all in favor.
All
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, now I'm gonna figure out how to hang this up on you, Jeannie.
Or should we hang up on you? That might be.
Okay, maybe that might be better if you hang up on me.